Hey everyone, it's Heidi Fang here with Adam Hill, and the UFC Vegas 4 card just ended here at the Apex. Just epic main event, Adam. We have to get into this fight between Dustin Poirier and Dan Hooker. Man, I mean, where do you put this on your all-time list of great fights that we've seen?
Yeah, I don't like making those kind of rankings right after you see it. I think you have a lot of recency bias in what you just saw. I would say it was the best fight of this run here at the Apex. I think it was the best fight of the year. I think I have to go back and look a little bit more, but historically, I think it was one of those fights that everybody's going to remember for a long time, and a fight that meant so much in the lightweight division. Two guys that are right there, that both have a chance to perhaps get into that title picture, depending on, it's very cloudy, but what happens later in the year. So an incredible performance. Is one of those fights that you're watching it and you're like, all right, well, this is going to last not very long because somebody's going down from some of these big shots, but they just kept taking more and more and coming back. It was also one of those fights, I think, as you're watching throughout, you see people on Twitter that aren't really even fans of MMA that are like, I just turned this fight on, this is crazy. It was one of those fights, and just a spectacular performance by both guys. Dustin Poirier in the end gets the win by, I think, just having that experience in these big fights. He's fought all the top contenders. He's been there before. He was able to push through it and get that win in the end.
And this was I believe he's been in 8 main events, 5-round fights, so this is one that he was able to really cap it off in the end rounds. I think Dan Hooker took the first and second. A lot of people had the first round kind of being a close round there, but in the end, I think even if you just take that away, it was definitely Poirier 3, 4, and 5 in my card anyway. But what do you think will go next for Dustin Poirier? It seemed like in his post-fight interview that he was a little apprehensive about wanting to say, yeah, I'm going to jump right back in and fight.
We'll find out what he says. I think he's in that mix, though. I mean, we've got a lightweight title fight later this year, unification bout between Gaethje and Nurmagomedov. He's fought both of them. He split against those guys. He's in that mix. He's in that picture. And again, if one of those guys falls out, what happens? Maybe he's available. Like he's a guy that's in the mix there for sure. He's got Conor McGregor. He's lost to him early in his career as well. So he's fought all of those guys at the top of the division. He's in there. I mean, he's right there with them, and we'll see what opens up for him later this year.
All right, let's get into the co-main event. Mike Perry had just his girlfriend, Latoya Gonzalez, in his corner, but did outstanding, I think. I think the fight itself turned out to be one of the better performances I've seen out of Mike Perry as of late. What did you make of this one?
Yeah, I think he shut up a lot of people, and in his mind is what he was doing, and everybody was making fun of it. They were laughing about it, that hey, it's just your girlfriend, and there was backstage as they were hitting mitts before the fight, everybody was kind of posting that video like she doesn't know what she's doing. But in the end, like, Mike Perry is a guy. No surprise if you've been around Mike Perry or talked to Mike Perry, he doesn't need coaching. I mean, listen, I think he does, but he says he's a guy that goes into the fight. He's not listening to his corner anyway. He said earlier this week he listens to the other corner more than he listens to his corner. And tonight he said, hey, by not having anybody screaming in my corner, I picked up everything the other corner was saying. They had code words for everything. I figured out what they all meant. By the end of the fight, I knew what he wanted to do. So, like, maybe it makes some sense. He's a guy, he's a brawler. He's a guy that wants to just get up off the street. He talks about fighting in a bar a couple months ago. Like, he's just a guy that wants to fight, and it's not really, in his mind, I think it's not really a sport, it's a fight, and he showed again today, like, that's just what he does, that's where he's comfortable.
Well, let's hear from Mike Perry right now and some of his post-fight comments made tonight, specifically about his girlfriend working as his corner.
She did a great job. She kept it very simple. She shouted a couple things. I heard her during the fight, and I remember telling myself, okay, there you go, she getting into it now. And she was like, keep your hand up. There was one time he had swung and just missed. So get your hand back up. I was like, all right. And then in the corner, when she was in there rubbing the ice on me, she kept asking me, hey, is this, where do you want, what else do you want, what can I do? And she was, trying to do more for me. And it was really cool just sitting there quiet and just thinking about how the next round was going to go.
All right, Adam, so as we wrap things up, Yas Island is coming up next. What big fight there is on your radar for the first event card that is happening there in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, listen, I think we've got 3 title fights on the horizon. The Gilbert Burns-Kamaru Usman fight, big for everybody. I think a lot of people are excited about that one. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. I want to see if Gilbert Burns can keep that momentum going. He's a guy that just keeps fighting these empty arena shows. He's comfortable there. And Kamaru Usman coming off, kind of becoming a little bit more of a superstar. Where does he stand? How is he getting ready for this fight? So I'm excited to see all of Fight Island. It's here. It's time. We're going to see what it looks like. We saw the training octagon tonight out on the beach. So there's a lot to look forward to with a run of fights at Fight Island, and right back here to Vegas for some big-time fights as well later this year.
All right, that'll do it from us here from the UFC Apex. For Adam Hill and Heidi Fang, you can find us both on Twitter at Adam Hill LVRJ. I'm at Heidi Fang. Find all of Adam's work in print and online at reviewjournal.com. Thanks everyone so much for watching.